These two monstrous beasts. From the recent battle, and judging by the innate talents of these two monstrous beasts, they can even foreshadow the arrival of two future Lord-level Beast Kings. Hearing the tigers roar, Hu 1 and Hu 2 had already devoured all the green wolf's flesh and blood. They had completely finished. At the same time, the aura around them gradually stabilized. Meanwhile, Chu Yao Yo's face showed a hint of conflict, and a trace of anxiety hidden deep in her heart. Looking at the two large tigers on the plaza, Chu Yao Yao felt them grow more and more familiar the more she looked, as if she had seen them somewhere before. After we finished devouring, I asked the middle-aged military officer for two large duffel bags. These bags were specially made by the military for collecting monster corpses. Not only were they of superior quality, their internal space was also extremely vast. They were perfect for holding items and those giant eggs. After I finished, I glanced with satisfaction at the large backpacks on Hu 1 and Hu 2's backs. Then, I inadvertently glanced at Chu Yao Yao, finding her still standing there, lost in thought. However, I paid no mind. The reason I returned the beast soldiers Chu Yao Yao had slain to her was because Chu Yao Yao had once shown me some goodwill. Then, I called out to the two brothers and turned to continue heading south. Everyone around quickly cleared a path. Hu 1 and Hu 2 followed closely behind me. Suddenly, Chu Yao Yao saw Hu 1 strike a pose that was familiar to her. She finally remembered she had once seen Hu 1 and Hu 2 in a photo, and that photo was a post on the Soul social platform. Chu Yao Yao quickly opened the Soul app, clicked on my homepage, and saw that photo. Although Hu 1 and Hu 2 had grown larger, Chu Yao Yao still recognized them. Watching the golden armored king slowly walk away, Chu Yao Yao felt an impulse rise within her heart. She suddenly shouted loudly, "Excuse me, are you Yi Zheng's friend?" This sentence shocked the entire crowd. Everyone looked at Chu Yao Yao as if she were mad. Even Master Jinyuan and the middle-aged military officer showed a hint of surprise on their faces. The silence in the arena was so profound one could hear a pin drop, and Wang Danden's live stream recorded this moment in its entirety. Many netizens in the live stream discussed amongst themselves, "Is this woman crazy? That's the golden armored king. Does she not value her life?" Under everyone's gaze, I merely nodded gently. "What? This can't be real, can it?" The golden armored king actually nodded at that woman. Who is Yi Zheng? Could it be a reclusive powerhouse from Huaxia? Who is friends with such a mighty golden armored king? At this moment, Chu Yao Yao was still immersed in immense shock. She hadn't expected that Yi Zheng's friend was truly the golden armored king. She quickly looked up, but I had already disappeared into the mountains with Hu 1 and Hu 2. It's better not to reveal that I was originally human for now. Using the golden armored king's friend as an excuse is quite good. I arrived in the jungle at the foot of the mountain, wanting to find the advanced beast general that laid the giant eggs. Let me see. That advanced beast general is even stronger than the green wolf king. At this moment, Hu 1 and Hu 2 were also excited in the jungle. Occasionally, demonic beasts were directly killed and devoured by the two brothers. I slowly moved through the jungle, wondering where that advanced beast general had gone, not even returning to its lair. Hu 1 and Hu 2 shook their large heads. A beast roar came from afar. I quickly looked in that direction. That direction seemed to be Amping City. This advanced beast general is indeed extraordinary, to be able to transmit its roar from such a distance. Its strength is definitely above the green wolf king. In Anping City, Mayor Li Fan was sweating profusely with anxiety. He looked at a giant rooster, over 12 meters tall on the screen, a look of urgency on his face. A martial artist beside him spoke. "Mayor, why has this silver crown king suddenly gone mad?" In the past, it and our Amping City always kept to themselves, like well water, not interfering with the water. Li Fan's expression was solemn. "I don't know either. This silver crown king is too powerful. Logically, it shouldn't appear here." On the large screen before them, the silver crown king had already reached Amping City city wall. Its sharp claws, shimmering with silver light, immediately began to attack the city wall of Amping City. After a crisp sound, the city wall was directly torn open with a large hole by the silver crown king. "Mayor, order to open fire. Otherwise, the entire city wall will be destroyed by the silver crown king." Li Fan's face showed deep conflict. He knew what opening fire would mean. After a moment of hesitation, he still said, "Order to open fire. Deploy all troops to the city wall's position. Concentrate all firepower on the silver crown king. And notify all martial artists of the middle 3 realms in the city to gather at the city wall and prepare for battle." At the same time, I looked out of the forest, a sense of curiosity rising in my heart. Why would this monster engage in battle with a human city? The strength of a human city far surpassed that of the Purple Cloud sect. This was also why the Green Wolf King dared to besiege the Purple Cloud sect, but did not dare to easily assault Amping City at the foot of the Purple Cloud sect mountain. Yet this advanced beast general dared to directly confront a human city. One must know that after the Linqi resurgence, Huaxia had already abandoned some smaller cities. The current cities were mostly those that originally had populations of over 5 million. After traversing through the jungle for a while, a huge clearing appeared before my eyes. And at the end of the clearing was the city wall built by Amping City. However, the now 5-meter-high city wall had been torn open by a massive great rooster, leaving several huge holes. The cannon fire, however, could only knock down some feather, while the opponent remained completely unharmed. A group of human martial artists rushed out from within the city wall. The leading martial artist leapt up from his sport, his body fiercely colliding with the great rooster. Seeing this scene, my heart stirred. Amping City indeed had martial artists of the 4th grade true martial realm. The great rooster's wings swept up gusts of strong wind around it. Some martial artists' bodies were directly blown apart and scattered. Then, the great rooster transformed into a streak of light, dodging the longsword of that 4th grade true martial realm martial artist. A crisp clang sounded, and the longsword in the hand of that 4th grade true martial realm martial artist was cut off. Immediately, 3 more 5th grade open young realm martial artists rushed out from around. Before they could react, the great rooster once again transformed into streaks of after images, and the 3 5th grade Taiwan realm martial artists had not yet reacted. Who 1 and Who 2, seeing this scene, showed a look of excitement in their eyes. I roared at Who 1 and Who 2, "Don't make a fuss. You are not its match." Hearing this, the 2 brothers could only reluctantly lower their heads. My eyes, however, revealed a hint of gratification. This great rooster and the Green Wolf King were not on the same level at all. Perhaps this great rooster's strength had already reached the Lord level. And at this moment, I also guessed why this great rooster had gone mad. Because its lair had been raided by me, which was why it was venting its rage on the human city. At this moment, Amping City was filled with an atmosphere of despair. The city wall was frantically destroyed by the Silver Crown King. The surrounding human martial artists began to scatter and flee. A tank was directly cut down by the Silver Crown King's sharp claws. Mei Elifan, seeing this scene, showed a hint of sorrow in his eyes. A martial artist beside him spoke. "Mayor, Master Jinyuan from Purple Cloud Mountain will soon return to provide support." And a group of martial artists from the Purple Cloud sect have also descended the mountain to provide support. Li Fan sighed and said, "It's useless. This Silver Crown King is too powerful. Their arrival will be of no use. It will only increase casualties." Immediately after, Li Fan paused, then said, "Unless ... Unless what?" Li Fan's eyes revealed a glimmer of hope. "Unless the Golden Armored King comes. Otherwise, no matter how many human martial artists come, it will all be in vain." Of course, I knew nothing of these things. I looked at Who 1 and Who 2 beside me. The 2 brothers still looked eager to fight. Their gaze towards the Silver Crown King was like looking at prey. "It seems you won't give up until you hit a wall. Fine. You can go and try. But don't blame me if you cry for your parents later." Who 1 and Who 2 leapt up excitedly, like 2 arrows shot from a bow, rushing towards the Silver Crown King. Letting them suffer a bit is also good. The defense of these 2 brothers should prevent them from being instantly killed. Then, 2 explosions occurred on the flat ground. Having evolved into ultimate beast generals, Who 1 and Who 2 had undergone earth-shattering changes in strength. They pounced like fierce tigers descending the mountain. Just as the Silver Crown King had breached the city wall, he saw Who 1 and Who 2 rushing out from the forest. Inside the city wall, Mayor Li Fan was shocked after hearing this. "Those are those 2 ultimate beast generals. How could they be here?" A martial artist beside him exclaimed. "If the beast generals are here, then the Golden Armored King must not be far either. Our Amping City is finally saved." Li Fan muttered. Why would the Golden Armored King appear here? Could it really just be a coincidence? At the same time, the remaining martial artists below the city wall all nervously watched the battle outside the city wall. Who 1 and Who 2 fearlessly charged towards the Silver Crown King, greatly shocking everyone. They had just been utterly helpless under the Silver Crown King's attack. They had never imagined that there would be monsters daring to actively provoke the Silver Crown King. Who 1 was the first to rush before the Silver Crown King, a pair of large claws shimmering with a silver light, directly pouncing forward. The Silver Crown King let out a sharp shriek. Then, the Silver Crown King flapped his wings, and the tornadoes appeared out of the air. These 2 tornadoes, as soon as they appeared, were rapidly swirling. In the blink of an eye, they had connected heaven and earth. Everyone within the city wall was shocked watching this scene. They wanted to know. Tornadoes, previously only seen in the natural world, were now, surprisingly, exerting immense pressure on the Silver Crown King's wings. Its speed also grew faster and faster. The Silver Crown King let out an enraged shriek. One could see the Silver Crown King's wing flapping frequency becoming faster and faster. Its entire body was pushed to its limits. one of the Silver Crown King's powerful claws directly grabbed the glowing palm. The opponent, transforming into afterimages, furiously struck at the Silver Crown King. However, the Silver Crown King's offensive caused all of the Tiger General's strikes to miss for a moment, while the Silver Crown King's powerful claw firmly grasped, and the Silver Crown King leapt up, aiming for Tiger General's head. Tiger General let out a miserable shriek, and was directly sent flying by the Silver Crown King. In just a moment, Tiger General 1 and Tiger General 2 were both injured. This did not bode well for the humans within the city walls. Mayor Lily spoke. The two Tiger Generals are likely no match for the Silver Crown King. However, the Golden Armored King has not yet made a move. Everything is still unclear. Inform Colonel Liu of the situation here. This might ease their minds somewhat. Meanwhile, on the mountain side, the middle-aged military officer's phone rang. This made Colonel Liu, along with Master Jinyuan, and the other martial artists, all see that it was the mayor calling. Colonel Liu quickly answered, understood. After Colonel Liu hung up, he cast a deep glance at Tu Yao Yao. Then, he spoke loudly to the crowd. Everyone. News has come from Anping City. The Golden Armored Kings to Tiger Generals are currently fighting the Silver Crown King, and they are at a disadvantage. We must now go to their aid. Those who do not wish to go may return. As soon as Colonel Liu's voice fell, some martial artist exclaimed in surprise. What? The Tiger Generals are fighting the Silver Crown King? Then the Golden Armored King must be there too. I was already planning to go support Anping City. How could I possibly turn back now? At this moment, everyone automatically ignored the news that the Tiger Generals were at a disadvantage. In their eyes, there was a glimmer of hope. Those who were originally preparing to descend the mountain, upon seeing this scene, showed a hint of their gaze towards Tu Yao Yao, unconsciously held a trace of respect. They all thought that Tu Yao Yao had just sent a message, which prompted the Golden Armored King to go support Anping. Feeling the respectful gazes around her, Tu Yao Yao's face felt a little flushed, but only she knew that the other party had not received her message at all. The chat window was still in an unread state. At this moment, down the mountain, Tiger General 1 and Tiger General 2 were screaming miserably as they were beaten by the Silver Crown King. However, due to the resilience of these two brothers, their lives were not yet in danger, but they were close to their limit. Let me handle this. Then, I slowly emerged from the red forest, my four limbs treading on the ground, making a sound like beating drums. This tremor caused everyone within the city walls to feel their hearts surge. With my appearance, the Silver Crown King released the fallen Tiger General 1. At the same time, it no longer attacked Tiger General 2. Tiger General 1 and Tiger General 2 quickly ran to my side. At this moment, both of them were bristling with anger, their bodies covered in wounds. Most of them were scratches inflicted by the Silver Crown King. At the same time, I also discovered that the devouring art, when used on Tiger General 1 and Tiger General 2, could enhance their recovery abilities. Otherwise, they would have been dealt with by the Silver Crown King long ago. At this moment, the Silver Crown King stared at me solemnly, its eyes no longer holding the previous ferocity. Instead, they carried a hint of caution. When I walked within 500 meters of the opponent, the Silver Crown King let out a roar, attempting to warn me. And in the jungle behind, there were also human figures. Master Jinyuan and Colonel Liu's group had finally arrived at the scene. Within the live stream, the comments section once again erupted. One by one, big figures continuously poured into my live stream. At the same time, in China's second military base, in a huge conference room, a group of unmoving, mountain-like big figures were all present. One of the white-haired old executives said, "It has been detected. From the Silver Crown King's feathers that we collected half a year ago, a bloodline has been detected. The bloodline contained within the Silver Crown King should be the legendary bloodline. Is that true? Then this Silver Crown King must be extraordinary, right? Indeed. Although the Silver Crown King is only a low-level Lord-tier monster, by relying on this bloodline, it can unleash the power of an intermediate, or even a high-level Lord-tier monster. Then this battle is truly worth watching. The Golden Armored King, without a doubt, also possesses a unique bloodline. The clash between these two great monsters will definitely be the most powerful confrontation within China during the spiritual energy resurgence," Elder Yuan said. "But its aura is extremely powerful. Without a doubt, it surpasses the power of the Eastern Three Jin. And those who can sit here are all the Titans stationed at various bases across China." At this moment, the Silver Crown King was still continuously warning me. Yeah, I continued to walk forward fearlessly, step by step. Despite its immense pressure, the Silver Crown King's fierceness returned to its eyes. A layer of red flames suddenly appeared on its body. Instantly, the audience in the live stream engaged in a heated discussion. Indeed, I heard that Lord-tier monsters all possess some mysterious abilities. This Silver Crown King actually has fire attributes too. If one were to be attacked by the Silver Crown King in this state, I feel that even a third-grade Void Realm martial artist would find it hard to resist. And in the conference room of the second military base, All the elders watched the Silver Crown King with solemn expressions. It was also their first time seeing the Silver Crown King in this state. Yet, I stood motionless, facing it head-on. Instantly, the Silver Crown King leapt directly and drew an after him each. Its huge beak charged directly towards me, and the Silver Crown King's extremely fast peck was directly blocked by my silver fangs. At the same time, countless flames from the Silver Crown King's head splattered onto my golden armor. The temperature of these flames was extremely high. Even an ordinary Lord-tier monster would not be able to withstand such a temperature. But unfortunately for it, I was completely unharmed. But my silver fangs and its beak clashed like two long spears. The opponent was directly sent flying by my impact with just one strike. All the surrounding humans were greatly astonished. My current strength already surpassed that of the Silver Crown King, and its flames could not harm me in the slightest. Therefore, this battle was actually destined from the very beginning. However, the Silver Crown King had already been consumed by rage. This time, it was sent flying again. At this moment, the Silver Crown King directly transformed into an unkillable monster. It charged forward again and again, attempting to use its sharp beak to break through my defense. However, time and again, the Silver Crown King's beak struck my silver fangs. It was as if it had gone mad, continuously attacking me, circling around me. Yet each time, I effortlessly sent the Silver Crown King flying from an initial 100 meters, then 200 meters to 300 meters, when the Silver Crown King was sent flying 500 meters, and charged up again. A crisp cracking sound rang out. This time, the Silver Crown King's beak was directly broken by my silver fangs. It snapped, and the magnificent eyes was replaced by sobriety. I quickly stepped forward and delivered a fierce blow. This time, the Silver Crown King was sent flying 600 meters. After landing, it did not charge at me again. Instead, it turned and fled towards the forest. Its slender figure transformed into two after images, frantically fleeing into the forest. Facing this situation, I merely glanced at it calmly. My weight and strength far surpassed the Silver Crown King. My charging speed was also equally swift. People only felt the air tremble, and I vanished before their eyes. A crashing sound like bones falling apart echoed. Many feathers drifted down from the sky, and the Silver Crown King's body was directly sent soaring hundreds of meters into the sky by my impact, then landed heavily. Even the flames on its body extinguished. Its eyes were left with only endless fear. Amping City. Within the city walls, a group of human martial artists stared at this scene in shock. They had originally thought it would be a head-on battle, but unexpectedly, it turned into a one-sided crushing. Mei Li slowly spoke. This is China's first recorded slaying of a Lord-tier monster from the Alliance's side. The answer was, it is the first time. He looked at the second military base, which was in the light, and the many elders there. He said with a solemn expression, the significance of this battle is truly immense. All of you have had many opportunities to engage with Lord-tier monsters. What do you think would happen if you faced the Silver Crown King? A white-robed elder immediately spoke. Although the Silver Crown King appears to be a low-level Lord-tier monster, its strength is indeed comparable to an intermediate Lord-tier monster. For my first great offensive technique, the Flame Palm, has long been cultivated to the third layer. But facing that strike from the Silver Crown King, I too would find it hard to resist. There's a high probability I would be directly wounded. Elder Huo of the Beggar Gang is right. I believe that to deal with a monster like the Silver Crown King, one must at least cultivate to the second grade Imperial Gang realm, with Imperial Gang Che protecting the body, and simultaneously cultivate an ultimate technique to the fourth layer. There would be a high chance of defeating the Silver Crown King. Upon hearing this, many elders' eyes flickered. After all, the second grade Imperial Gang realm was their lifelong pursuit, and an ultimate technique cultivated to the fourth layer required even greater power. China has always produced many talented individuals, but those who have reached this realm are few and far between. Meanwhile, outside the plains of Amping City, I slowly walked to the side of the Silver Crown King, which lay on the ground, unable to stand up again. Tiger General 1 and Tiger General 2, the two brothers, as if venting the humiliation they had just suffered, declared, it should end now, directly breaking the Silver Crown King's neck. My heart stirred. This Silver Crown King is, without a doubt, a Lord-tier monster. This Silver Crown King is, without a doubt, a Lord-tier monster. I wonder how much strength this will add to me. A moment later, I swept my gaze around and rewarded Tiger General 1 and Tiger General 2 with 2 chicken feet each. I then directly absorbed the Silver Crown King's body into my mouth. I felt as if a volcano had erupted within me, with waves of heat surging one after another. As expected of a Lord-tier monster, its essence was truly immense. System, show me my current attributes. The Golden Armored Boar King. Weight, 65,000 Jin. Strength, 7,200 points. Physique, 6,900 points. Skills, Devouring Art. Golden Armor Art, Glazed Fire Earth Armor. Host detected to meet the conditions for weapon imprint. Upon hearing the system's prompt, I asked, "System, what is a weapon imprint?" The weapon imprint is the core of the host weapon. With the weapon imprint, the host only needs to find fungible materials to create your nuttow weapon. Then what is my nuttow weapon? Host first stage weapon, grease steel rake. Required materials, 100,000 tons of steel, 100,000 tons of iron, 10,000 tons of copper. I stood there stunned. A weapon? But how can I, with these pig trotters, wield a weapon? Moreover, these materials, only the Huaxia government can procure them. Forget it, I'll make some deals with Huaxia first. System, can I speak now? Please try to speak. Host, if you can, then yes. So, I tried to speak. Damn it, it's not working. There must be some other method. As I pondered, I suddenly remember the spiritual energy overflowing within my body. That was a power I could freely manipulate. Recalling some techniques I'd seen before, I couldn't help but try to channel my spiritual energy, mimicking those techniques. Greetings, humans. A powerful voice, like that of a transformer, buzzed and rumbled in everyone's ears. People looked in disbelief towards the source of the voice on the plains. Mayor Li Fan is truly amazing. Did the Golden Armored King just speak? The voice also reached Wang Dayton's live stream. The audience exploded in comments. What was that voice just now? It sounds like a transformer. Dayton, do you know, at this moment, Wang Dayton, along with other streamers and experts, stared at the screen in shock. 2 seconds later, Colonel Yu's phone rang. It was the commander of the 1st military base. Whose voice was that just now? Reporting, it was the Golden Armored King. Good. I now order you to immediately proceed and inquire about the Golden Armored King's demand. Yes, sir. Colonel Liu hung up the phone and strode towards me. Meanwhile, Mayor Li Fan on the city wall looked eager. His secretary reminded him, Mayor, Colonel Liu is going to speak with him. Li Fan looked up. The small black dot on the plains was steadily approaching the massive Golden Armored King. He said in a deep voice, I must also go to the Golden Armored King and inquire about his demands. I will not be here. The deputy mayor will organize the reconstruction. Ignoring his secretary's dissuasion, Li Fan walked straight down the city wall. In the live stream, the audience was still buzzing with discussion. Meanwhile, I was still communicating with the system. System, where will my weapon be stored in the future? The nuttow weapon is nurtured within the weapon imprint. It can be directly retrieved for use from the weapon imprint. I touched the cold, mysterious silver rune on my forehead. My heart burned with excitement. Can this weapon change its size? The 9-foot steel rake can change its size. This filled my heart with great joy. Having consumed so many materials, the moment the nuttow weapon takes shape, its weight will surely be astonishing. Tiger General 1 and Tiger General 2 had clearly reached the peak of the Beast General realm. They were only a hair's breadth away from breaking through to the high-tier Beast General realm. But they would be invincible, and I would have no worries. If in the future, with the two brothers working together, I likely wouldn't even need to intervene in ordinary Beast General encounters. On the left, Colonel Liu was already jogging. Feeling my aura up close, his heart trembled. At the same time, he deeply understood that he represented Huaxia, and every word he spoke carried immense weight. After calming his mind, Colonel Liu respectfully spoke. Greetings, esteemed Golden Armored King. I nodded my head. My powerful voice resonated in Colonel Liu's ears, but the volume was more restrained than before. Greetings, human. Colonel Liu's heart eased. He directly asked me, may I ask what your demands are? I want 100,000 tons of steel, 100,000 tons of iron, and 10,000 tons of copper. Colonel Liu had clearly not expected the Golden Armored King to make such a request. These materials could indeed only be provided by the Huaxia government at present. However, after the spiritual energy resurgence, the production capacity of these materials had plummeted, and most of them were being transported to the southern military bases. Esteemed Golden Armored King, please allow me to report to my superiors. I added, this transaction can be exchanged for 3 silver Crown King eggs, or 1 instance of my intervention. Upon hearing this, Colonel Liu was immediately overjoyed. With such conditions, Huaxia would definitely agree. It was merely a choice between the Silver Crown King's eggs and my intervention. At this moment, Li Fan also arrived, stopping 20 meters away from the battlefield. Silently listening to the conversation, the shock in his heart was no less than Colonel Liu's. Colonel Liu cautiously stepped back and dialed the 1st military base. I need you to ask the Golden Armored King to wait 10 minutes. We will discuss it. He then hung up the phone. Colonel Liu's face, however, was flustered. Ask the Golden Armored King to wait 10 minutes? How could he dare? But he understood the importance of the matter and couldn't help but cautiously look at me, saying that I was not anxious. He finally breathed a sigh of relief. On the other side, in Huaxia, the commanders of the remaining 20 military bases were all holographically projected into the 1st military bases. Operations room, this was the highest level research meeting after intense discussion. With a final vote of 6-4, Huaxia decided to choose the Silver Crown King's eggs. After all, the Silver Crown King possessed a bloodline of devouring allowing it to fight above its rank with immense growth potential and a high chance of breaking through to the king rank. From a long-term perspective, nurturing 3 eggs held greater value. After the meeting, the commander of the 1st military base immediately ordered, contact Colonel Liu and tell him we choose the Silver Crown King's eggs. Immediately gather all steel, iron, and copper. A soldier rushed out and soon returned to report 100,000 tons of steel and iron are ready, gathered outside the military base. However, only 5,000 tons of copper can be collected. The commander's face darkened. In the past, Waxia's annual copper production was tens of millions of tons. How can we not even produce 10,000 tons? After the spiritual energy resurgence, industry has been paralyzed. The use of copper is not as widespread as steel and iron. These are already the reserve stockpiles of several bases. And the commander immediately ordered, investigate the situation and copper mine information. A moment later, the soldier reported, in the wilderness area of Weiyuan City, Pinghua Province, there are 20,000 tons of copper stored. However, that place is the 25th abandoned forbidden zone. Since the spiritual energy resurgence, no need. Colonel Liu respectfully approached me and spoke. Esteemed Golden Armored King, the steel and iron are ready. Outside the military base. Please proceed to retrieve them. However, we could only gather 5,000 tons of copper. There are another 20,000 tons in the copper mine in Weiyuan City, but that belongs to the territory of the One-Armed King. Waxia is powerless to intervene. What do you think? Hearing this, my heart stirred. The One-Armed King was ranked 6th on the monster list. A divine beast. Its true form was a one-armed monkey. After the spiritual energy resurgence, it possessed innate talent, bloodline, and skills. Tell me the detailed coordinates, I said to Colonel Liu. Seeing that I was not angered, he was immediately overjoyed. Alright, here is the detailed information for the Weiyuan City copper mine. So, humans, what is your choice? I asked. Colonel Liu excitedly replied, Esteemed Golden Armored, we choose the Silver Crown King's eggs. Good. I nodded. Although Tiger General once had longingly the egg, he reluctantly handed the 3 eggs to me. In truth, I had already anticipated this outcome. Waxia was still quite wary of my strength. Compared to an uncertain intervention from me, they chose the eggs, which had a longer return cycle, but offered a highly certain return. At this moment, in the 1st military base's operations room, the holographic projections of the high-ranking officials were anxiously waiting. Everyone's gaze was fixed on the large screen. Seeing Tiger General one hand over the eggs, they immediately showed wild joy. Look, the eggs have been handed over. The commander of the 1st military base immediately dispatched a grade 3 boy drill martial artist from the special forces. Understood. Immortal Master Qing Cheng and El Huo with them are on their way. Even if they encounter an ordinary Lord Tier monster, they can protect the Silver Crown King's eggs. Their eyes were filled with fervor. After all, the research and cultivation value of such monster eggs was immeasurable. Meanwhile, Tiger General 1 was still reluctantly staring at the eggs. It's just a few little chicks. What's there to be so reluctant about? I said. He hung his head. Colonel Liu, unable to carry the 3 giant eggs, and knowing he couldn't protect them with his own strength, quickly contacted his superiors for support. As Colonel Liu departed, Mayor Li Fan respectfully stepped forward. Walking within 20 meters of me, he respectfully spoke. Esteemed Golden Armored King, thank you for saving Anping City. I heard you require steel and iron. Anping City happens to have several hundred tons in reserve. I wish to offer them to you. Good. My voice resonated in Li Fan's ears, causing an excited expression to appear on his face. I also wanted to see if my nut-owl weapon would change after I first devoured several hundred tons of steel and iron. Esteemed Golden Armored King, please wait a moment. I will immediately have people bring them to you. Truck after truck, laden with steel and iron, arrived before me. After May, a Li Fan disembarked from the 1st truck. He immediately spoke. Esteemed Golden Armored King, please partake. Under the astonished gazes of the crowd, I directly absorbed all the trucks, along with the steel and iron, into my weapon imprint. These materials were instantly refined by the weapon imprint, forming a mass of silver liquid. I sighed softly in my heart. As expected, this is far from enough. It formed a blob of silver liquid. I sighed softly in my heart. As expected, this is far from enough. Then let us first depart for Weiyuan City to acquire the materials. And while we are there, I shall meet that one-armed king. I then departed Anping with Tiger 1 and Tiger 2, arriving in a dense forest. Gazing at the lands of Waxia, I fell into contemplation. Weiyuan City was not far from me, but it would still take a considerable amount of time to reach. Along the way, I could slay some monsters, helping myself, Tiger 1, and Tiger 2 evolve. I recall the information on the One-Armed King provided by the Waxia military. The One-Armed King, ranked 6th on Waxia's wanted list, was a monkey from a zoo before the spiritual energy revival. It had a violent temper and loved to attack humans. After the spiritual energy revival, it even killed its own zookeeper, then fled into the deep mountains, evolving into a realm no one could match. After reading the data, my eyes showed disbelief. A monster capable of rising during the early stages of the revival must possess extraordinary talent. If I could devour the One-Armed King, it would greatly benefit my evolution. I then continued to trek through the dense forest. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 excitedly darted about. As I ventured deeper, I suddenly caught a captivating scent. This aroma made one's appetite surge. Good stuff, I thought, my heart stirring. Following the scent, I found a small hillside, covered in crystalline spiritual herbs. A rich spiritual energy washed over me. These must be spiritual herbs. Eating them should increase my strength. I immediately opened my mouth, absorbing them into my body. After devouring all the spiritual herbs, my strength and physique both increased. System. My current attributes. Species, golden armored pig. Weight, 67,000 jin. Strength, 7,350 points. Physique, 7,100 points. Detected host physique is about to reach 8,000 points. Upon meeting the conditions, the Black Heaven True Body will awaken. After awakening, the physique will possess the Black Heaven True Body. Hearing this, I felt a hint of doubt. System, what is the Black Heaven True Body? The Black Heaven True Body is the host's complete form, activated by the power of your bloodline. Its physique is extremely colossal. Looking at my physique, which was almost at 8,000 points, I excitedly asked, can it be activated as long as my physique reaches 8,000 points? System, host, due to the Black Heaven True Body's immense size. After activation, you will still need to devour 100,000 tons of monster flesh and blood to fully control it. I secretly calculated. The Silver Crown King I slew in Anping City weighed merely 10 tons. To gather 100,000 tons of flesh and blood, I would need to devour 10,000 Lord Tier monsters like the Silver Crown King. Even all the Lord Tier monsters in Waxia might not be enough for me to devour. Moreover, Lord Tier monsters are not fools. Accompanied by the violent shaking of trees, it seemed these two lads had encountered a tough opponent. I couldn't help but quicken my pace. Traversing 800 meters through the jungle, I saw Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 jointly attacking a giant water buffalo, 11 meters long. The aura emanating from the water buffalo was formidable, already at the peak of a high-level beast general. Its entire body was thick-skinned and tough. Tiger 1 lay on the water buffalo's back, its silver claws tearing at it, yet only breaking through a layer of skin. Tiger 2, on the other hand, restrained it from the front. Each time it pounced, it would be sent reeling back by the buffalo's horns, unable to find an opening. They simply couldn't break through the water buffalo's defense. I did not rush to act. After all, battles between beast general tier monsters could allow them to accumulate valuable experience. However, the battle did not last long. The enraged water buffalo monster roared, and Tiger 1 and Tiger 2, clinging to its rear, were flung away. Seeing this scene, I couldn't help but sigh softly. It seems this water buffalo monster's attribute points are heavily skewed towards defense. Even an ordinary low-level Lord Tier monster would likely find it difficult to kill this water buffalo monster. You two, step aside, I shouted lightly. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 got off the water buffalo monster. I, meanwhile, transformed into a golden tauren. Crashing into the water buffalo monster, the water buffalo monster let out a mournful roar and was sent crashing 350 meters away, with only one last breath left. Tiger 1, go! It immediately went forward and devoured it, then brought the corpse to me. I used my silver claws to split the corpse in two. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 excitedly gnawed on their halves. My strength increased by 100. And my physique increased by 110. The aura around Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 began to surge rapidly. When they were outside Anping City, they were already at the peak of intermediate level beast generals. After hunting and devouring along the way, they had now finally reached the verge of a breakthrough. Streams of spiritual energy circulated within their bodies. But advancing to high-level beast general was much harder than before. Their advancement this time would likely take several days. So, I quietly stood guard nearby. However, not long after, rustling sounds came from deep within the forest. It seemed powerful monsters were attracted by the commotion of their advancement. This is a monster delivering itself to my doorstep. Moreover, the commotion from Tiger 1 and Tiger 2's advancement is so great. Those rushing over are definitely not ordinary beast generals. Perhaps they are high-level beast generals. Or even Lord Tier. I quietly stood rooted to the spot, restraining my aura, waiting for these monsters to arrive. Intense rustling came from the grass. Then a figure instantly shot out. But as soon as it saw my figure, it froze. It was a giant python over 20 meters long, with a single horn on its head. A low-level Lord Tier. Since you come, don't leave. I opened my big mouth. Spiritual energy rapidly gathered, and the surrounding temperature instantly rose. A scorching red light shot out, directly cutting the one-horned giant python in half at the waist. Its body was still twitching, and it fell heavily to the ground. My strength increased by 1,000. And my physique increased by 900. Black Heaven True Body awakening progress, 25%. On the other side, Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 was still sleeping in evolution, their physique slowly growing larger. But movement came again from the jungle. A 9-meter-long black panther darted out. But upon seeing me, it, like the giant python, turned and fled. Another red light flashed. Monsters were constantly attracted by the commotion. A 5-meter-long giant toad, a 6-meter-long giant crab, and a nearly 8-meter-tall ape were all swiftly slain by me. Monster corpses piled up. The monsters deep in the jungle also sensed danger and no longer dared to approach. Looking at the ground covered in corpses, I thought with satisfaction the one-horned giant python was a low level, and the rest were all high-level beast generals. This harvest is truly abundant. I opened my big mouth. System, check attributes. Host, species, golden armored pig, black heaven, true body, 25%. Strength, 9,800 points. I secretly thought, my strength will reach 10,000 points soon. At this moment, the auras of Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 gradually stabilized. When they awoke, they would be true high-level beast generals. I'm now only 200 strength points away from a breakthrough. However, I was not in a hurry. This small amount of strength would likely be gained quickly. For the next few days, I did not leave. I continuously patrolled around Tiger 1 and Tiger 2, hunting any passing beast generals, until a black wolf over 8 meters long was directly slain by me. This must be the last one, right? I haven't encountered any high-level beast generals nearby for a while. I've met quite a few intermediate-level beast generals, though. It should be enough. Strength plus 35. Congratulations, host. Your strength points have reached 10,000, and your weight has reached 100,000 jin. Do you wish to evolve? Looking at the lush, dense forest around me, and the abundant spiritual energy, then glancing at Tiger 1 and Tiger 2, who were about to evolve through their breathing, I secretly thought, evolution. A powerful aura instantly erupted from deep within me. The entire forest was filled with an overwhelming pressure. The immense commotion caused all the monsters deep within the jungle to reveal expressions of fear. And upon my body, my might grew stronger and stronger. Above the sky, a gigantic spiritual energy vortex slowly gathered, connecting to thick clouds, blotting out the sky and sun. And my figure was gradually enveloped completely by golden light. Half a day later, Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 were the first to open their eyes. Their physiques had already surpassed 10 meters. Having successfully advanced to high-level beast generals, they gazed at the figure enveloped in golden light, their eyes unable to hide their worship. At the same time, they tightly guarded him, thus passed the time enveloped in golden light. That was a giant clad in golden armor, standing a full 20 meters tall, and his entire body emanating astonishing power. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 gazed at the figure, their eyes filled with curiosity. The golden light directly pierced through the spiritual energy vortex above the sky. Vast spiritual energy scattered, causing the high-level beast generals and lord-tier monsters in the forest to look up in unison. Only then, looking at the sun in the sky, did they feel the pressure on them suddenly lessen. I, within the golden light, suddenly opened my eyes, causing the surrounding airflow to instantly reverse. I lowered my head to look at my body, my eyes showing sharp for the first time. System, what happened? System, host current state, golden armored battle body. Is this the golden armored battle body? At this moment, I stood 20 meters tall, my body covered in golden armor. My hooves had also transformed into powerful hands, and other parts of my body also underwent significant changes. System, check my attributes. Species, golden armored pig. Strength, 10,000 points. State, golden armored battle body. Can switch to black heaven true body. Progress 25%. Skill, strength domain, golden armored charge. Devour, glazed fire, earth evasion. As the host continuously increases strength points, the strength domain will also become more powerful. The strength domain has a total of 10 layers. Currently, it is at the first layer. Hearing this, I stood rooted to the spot, deep in thought. Currently, the first layer. Hearing this, I stood rooted to the spot. I couldn't help but ponder inwardly. The changes brought about by this evolution are truly immense. Just this transformed battle body alone has made my strength countless times greater than before. Once I have refined my 9-fingered steel, then my strength will experience a massive increase. System, will I possess other forms in the future? Host, once you have cultivated the black heaven true body, your battle body will also transform into the black heaven battle body. This brought me to a sudden realization. My current true form is still the golden armored pig. The next stage will be the black heaven true body. This is akin to those great demons, who typically assume human forms. However, during great battles, they can also revert to their true forms. Each of these forms serves a different purpose. And so, my form began to change with extreme speed. I reverted to my original appearance. However, my body had already grown to 20 meters. The might emanating from my body was countless times greater than before. With the thought, my strength domain activated, and an invisible ripple enveloped the surroundings. It concealed everything. The surrounding trees were instantly crushed to dust. The area within the domain instantly became a void. Through my manipulation and observation, I discovered that, enveloped by the strength domain, I could even soar through the skies. Now, I could truly be considered a flying pig. It is time to depart, to Weiyuan City, to retrieve the copper mine. I muttered to myself. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 swiftly returned to my side. I led Tiger 1 and Tiger 2, slowly traversing the primeval forest. Though our pace was swift, I would still casually deal with any ferocious monsters we encountered. Along the way, I continuously experimented with the wondrous applications of the strength domain. I discovered that not only could I utilize the strength domain to fly, but I could also effortlessly carry Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 with me. This was immensely useful in a world teeming with fierce beasts. After flying once, He wished for me to take him flying again. No more flying, we are almost at Weiyuan City. You two have been slacking off this entire journey. The two brothers could only follow along, bored. Occasionally, when we encountered low-level beast soldiers and beast general, they naturally became the punching bags for these two brothers. Finally, after traversing yet another stretch of jungle, a human city suddenly appeared before my eyes. However, its walls were riddled with pockmarks and deep gouges, clearly carved out by various monsters. That copper mine should be located to the left of this city, within the deep mountains and dense forest, I presume. I murmured softly to myself, and just as I emerged from the dense forest, within Weiyuan City's combat hall, a piercing alarm blared. Major Li immediately rushed to the combat hall. He inquired, "What has occurred? Has the one-armed king come to attack us?" After all, the combat hall's alarm system only activates when it detects monsters above the lord level. That it sounds. A soldier swiftly stood up and reported, "Mayor, it is not the one-armed king." Jolie quickly glanced at the live screen. However, the radar could not clearly display the monster-specific detail. Could it be the golden armored king who has arrived? He then swiftly ascended to the city wall. Indeed, he saw a vast figure on the plains. A colossal figure, shimmered with faint golden light under the sun. Upon seeing this figure, a hint of joy involuntarily appeared on Jolie's face. Immediately bring forth those individuals who have been prepared. The copper mine is situated in a secluded part of the jungle. Have them guide the golden armored king. Yes, Mayor. Meanwhile, on the other side, I was also observing as I walked. This jungle was exceedingly dense, especially after the resurgence of Linqi. Many landmarks had changed their appearance. For me to find that copper mine within this jungle would not be an easy task. It is not an easy matter either. Unbeknownst to me, I had already arrived near the city walls of Weiyuan City, and not far off, the city gates, once reinforced and tightly sealed, were now all wide open. Mayor Jolie, accompanied by a few attendants, and 3 beautiful women, had come outside the city walls, gazing at the mighty figure in the distance. Jolie dared not be negligent. He promptly spoke. "Respected golden armored king. Greetings, we are aware that you seek the copper mine, and have specially chosen 3 professionals from the city. They can easily guide you to it." Having spoken, Jolie retreated, and the 3 women stepped forward. Upon hearing Jolie's words, I couldn't help but gaze at these 3 women. I observed that though these 3 were extremely nervous, there was not a single trace of terror in their eyes, especially the woman in the center. Her gaze was even more resolute as she looked at me. Otherwise, now, as a high-level beast lord, my roar is enough to shake even an ultimate beast general. Upon hearing this roar, their strength would be greatly shaken, let alone a few human women. Indeed, after this furious roar, 2 of the women turned pale, stumbling backward. Only the one in the center, Liu Anuan, still stubbornly straightened her back. Witnessing this scene, I spoke directly. "The woman in the center shall lead the way. The rest of you may return." Liu Anuan managed to force a faint smile. She knew that the entire Weiyuan City, he knows the entire Weiyuan City, was constantly in dire straits. If she could offer assistance to the golden armored king, then Weiyuan City would hold some value in the eyes of the high-ranking officials of Waxia. Then it also holds considerable value. And so, looking at the woman before me, I directly inquired, "Do you know the precise location of the copper mine and its detailed information?" Liu Anuan replied, a hint of nervousness in her voice, reporting to the golden armored king. "This copper mine was once the largest in the province. Originally, that area was quite desolate. After the resurgence of Linqi, it transformed back into a forest. However, I am familiar with its precise location." That is good, with a thought. An invisible force appeared in the air. Liu Anuan only felt her body become uncontrollable, floating in the air. "Let us go." I wasted no further words. Directly taking Liu Anuan, Tiger 1, and Tiger 2, I entered the primeval forest. On the ground below, Jolie and the remaining few stared with wide eyes at the scene before them. "I did not miss you just now, did I?" "They flew away." The secretary beside him replied tremblingly. "Mayor, you are indeed not mistaken. They truly flew away. This cannot be. What has transpired here must be reported to the first military base. Even a second-grade earth steel expert, or even a first-grade heavenly or Arjun expert, can only briefly ascend into the air, but flying like this is utterly impossible." Meanwhile, under my guidance, we swiftly traversed a small patch of primeval forest. The forest was teeming with various monsters and creatures, but most of them were beast soldiers and beast generals. These held no interest for me whatsoever. And just as I was about to approach the heart of the forest, a piercing shriek echoed from high above. Looking up, I saw a colossal eagle monster, its body reaching 15 meters in length, its wingspan a full 30 meters, soaring high in the sky, staring intently down at us. This brought a surge of joy to my heart. This monster high above was clearly of the Spirit Lord level, and not an ordinary early-stage Spirit Lord. It was very likely an ultimate Spirit Lord, or even stronger. Liu Anuan gazed at the monster above her head, a trace of pallor involuntarily appearing on her face. Golden Armored King. The monster above is named Grey Feather King. He's a formidable rival of the one-armed king because Grey Feather King's range of activity is quite vast, and he enjoys preying on you far within the great wilderness. Thus, he usually does not bother with human. However, if he does decide to attack human, then it is absolutely terrifying. Liu Anuan then paused and said with some concern, Golden Armored King, perhaps we should descend into the forest first. I glanced at the Grey Feather King above me and spoke, are you jesting? Am I too shy away from his might? At this moment, Grey Feather King also flapped his wings and then flew directly into the clouds. However, at this very moment, the strength domain emanating from my body, the clouds directly above him began to deform. Then a pitch-black figure plummeted towards the ground with extreme speed. Sparks even erupted from its body. Liu Anuan stared in shock at the dramatic scene before her. Such a sight had already surpassed her comprehension. She had considered the Golden Armored King to be immensely powerful. Feather King might not be his match. The sky was, after all, but she had never imagined such a scene could occur. With a thunderous crash, a violent impact resounded from within the forest. A large swath of big trees was directly smashed to splinters. And in the center of this patch of shattered trees, a massive crater had appeared. Grey Feather King lay quietly within this great crater, dead beyond all doubt. Immediately after, I moved the strength domain. Once more, I used it to envelop Grey Feather King. His shattered body directly floated into the air, to be directly devoured by me. This entire process was as smooth as flowing water. Liu Anuan, who stood nearby, gasped in continuous shock. Strength plus 150. Black Heaven True Body plus 35 ton. Perhaps due to the increase in my strength, ordinary Lord-level monsters could only grant me around 100 points of strength. Thereafter, I continued to fly swiftly above the jungle. After traversing another small patch of forest, a massive deep pit appeared ahead. The deep pit was lush with greenery. It seems the copper mine is here. I descended with Tiger 1, Tiger 2, and Liu Anuan, landing directly on the edge of the deep pit. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 gazed at the deep pit before them. Excitement gleamed in their eyes. They could sense a vast number of monsters within. For the two brothers, these were all delectable treats. Observing their eager expression, I directly spoke, go forth. It is time to hone your skills. Upon hearing this, Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 excitedly leapt into the deep pit. Liu Anuan, meanwhile, meticulously observed the entire deep pit. Finally, I fixed my gaze on a spot in the middle of the deep pit. With the thought, I immediately took Liu Anuan and flew towards that location. And just as I had flown to the very center of the deep pit, a piercing cry suddenly came from within the jungle. Then, a large monkey, 7 meters in length, leapt directly from beneath the trees. In its right hand, it even held a pitch-black staff. A high-level beast general. It can even use weapons. It is much stronger than an ordinary high-level beast general. Perhaps it can rival Tiger 1 and Tiger 2. The monkey's speed grew faster and faster. Immediately after, it fiercely leapt above me, intending to smash me. With a fierce counter-attack, this high-level beast general was instantly smashed to pieces by me, along with this monkey's arm, which also turned into dust. Its body rapidly plummeted into the deep pit. And throughout the entire process, I did not even lift my head to look at this monkey. Mainly because this monkey had not reached the Spirit Lord level. I didn't even have the desire to devour it. Afterward, Liu Anuan and I directly descended to the middle section of the giant pit. I immediately activated my power domain, instantly clearing all the surrounding trees, flowers, and grass. Faint rays of light then emanated from the ground, and the power domain was like a polishing machine, directly removing the layer of soil and debris covering the ground, revealing the copper all buried beneath. There is indeed a lot of copper here. It definitely far exceeds 10,000 tons, I estimated in my mind. Then I directly began absorbing it. Copper added 500 tons. Copper added 1,000 tons. After a short while, with a thought, I also entered the weapon imprint and found a large lump of golden yellow liquid inside. It seemed alive, constantly flowing within the weapon imprint. Not bad, I said softly. Hearing these two words, excitement appeared on Liu Anuan's face. To be able to receive praise from King Golden Armor held significant meaning for her. However, a hint of hesitation also appeared on Liu Anuan's face. Her gaze constantly drifted towards those few golden spirit fruits at the bottom of the deep pit. This spiritual herb is called Jinbaolai. Once, there was an incredibly powerful warrior who directly used this Jinbaolai. His cultivation instantly broke through to the 4th grade True Harmony realm, and the speed of his cultivation technique practice, compared to before, increased countless times. He cultivated a cultivation technique that was originally only B grade, all the way to the 5th layer. One must know that after the spiritual energy revival, the highest layer for all cultivation techniques was only the 5th layer. This also allowed him to leap and become one of Waxia's powerhouses. Relying on a B-grade cultivation technique perfected to great perfection, the power of this 4th grade True Harmony realm warrior's techniques could already rival a 3rd grade Void Purple realm practitioner. Thinking of this, Liu Anuan spoke up for the first time. Lord King Golden Armor, I wish to go to the bottom, to pluck those few Jin Bao. Jin Bao, one of Waxia's 9 great spiritual herbs. Yes, Lord King Golden Armor. Jin Bao is extremely important to warriors. Liu No Anuan finished speaking and nervously looked at me. Just at this moment, a violent commotion began at the bottom of the deep pit. Roaring came from the bottom of the deep pit. My heart stirred. It seems the two brothers have encountered an opponent at the bottom of the deep pit. This pit is located deep within the primeval jungle and has become the lair of many monsters. For Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 to cause such a commotion, they must have encountered a lord-level monster. Subsequently, a chilling roar came from the bottom of the deep pit. A massive figure suddenly emerged from the dense forest. At this moment, the two brothers were battling this massive monster. And Liu No Anuan, who was in the middle section of the pit, seeing this scene, couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. A earth dragon beast actually appeared here. What is an earth dragon beast? A hint of doubt appeared on my face. Liu No Anuan quickly explained. This monster beast is identical to the earth dragon beast, ranked in the top 10 on the leaderboard. It also has a horn on its head. Only its body is a size smaller. Hearing this, I couldn't help but look at this earth dragon beast. A monster that can be called a dragon should not be weak in strength. I saw this monster with 4 thick legs sprawled on the ground. Its body was covered with pitch black scale. Its body length had reached an astonishing 20 meters. Without a doubt, this monster was a spirit lord level monster. Tiger 1 let out a wild roar. Once more, the earth dragon beast's eyes gleamed with a chilling light and charged forward as well, with 2 violent impacts. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 were directly sent flying dozens of meters away, yet the earth dragon beast did not retreat in the slightest. The two brothers immediately rolled out from the jungle and stood up. They gazed towards the earth dragon beast. Couldn't help but show a hint of apprehension. Liu No Anuan above, seeing this scene, was also stunned. She had never imagined that beast generals could withstand the might of a lord-level monster and stand up as if nothing had happened after such an impact. At this moment, Tiger 1 and Tiger 2, equipped with divine artifact, charged forward again through the dense jungle. Violent collision sounds once again echoed through the jungle. The two brothers were constantly suppressed by the earth dragon beast, but relying on their powerful defense, they managed to hold their ground for a while. And the more the earth dragon beast fought, the more alarmed it became. The horn on its forehead began to emit a scorching light. The earth dragon beast suddenly slashed, its horn like a sharp blade, directly slashed across Tiger 1's belly. Tiger 1's belly was cut open with a large gash. His armor was also torn open. The horn on the earth dragon beast's head possessed astonishing power, although it was still a minor injury if it accumulated. The two brothers' defenses would also be unable to withstand it. Seeing this scene, I took a few steps forward with a light gait. An invisible wave suddenly covered the entire deep pit. The earth dragon beast struggled to lift its head and look towards the pit's middle section. A hint of tension appeared in its eyes. It felt a powerful pressure emanating from me. Then, under the influence of the power domain, I directly arrived not far from the earth dragon beast. This newly discovered earth dragon beast could probably rank among the top 50 on Waxia's monster ranking, which is already quite good. The monster ranking is updated in real time. And on the current ranking, all of them are lord-level monsters. The earth dragon beast looked at me with difficulty and let out a faint warning growl. With a thought, the power domain was like a grinding mill, directly separating the earth dragon beast's head from its body. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2, dragging their injured body, came to my side. Looking at the earth dragon on the ground, they showed a hint of smugness. Your attacks are too weak. You fought for a long time yet couldn't break its defense, and were even breached by this monster. In the future, practice your claws and teeth more. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 meekly listen to my words before me. Yet their peripheral vision unconsciously glanced towards the earth dragon beast in the distance. Alright, go eat. Hearing this, the two brothers immediately ran to devour the earth dragon beast's head. As for me, I directly absorbed the earth dragon beast's entire body into my mouth. Dark heaven true body plus 20 tons. Strength plus 80 points. My heart stirred. This earth dragon beast should only be at the peak of the elementary lord level. On the other side, after devouring the earth dragon beast's head, their aura was also rapidly changing. A faint pressure began to slowly manifest on their bodies. I knew that was the unique imposing aura of lord-level monsters. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 were already at the peak of the high-level beast general stage, and were extremely close to becoming spirit lord-level monsters. At this moment, Tiger 1's teeth suddenly felt a resistance. He spat out a horn from his mouth. It was precisely the one from the earth dragon beast for Ed. A hint of displeasure appeared on Tiger 1's face. He actually couldn't chew through this thing. Put this away. This should be a material that Huaxia humans used to forge S-grade weapons. Liu No Anuan, who was beside me, secretly felt alarmed seeing this scene. In her opinion, these things were too precious. Yet Tiger 1 treated them like trash, and tossed them into his backpack. Then I looked at the Jin Bao Lai on the ground. I activated Devour. Strength plus 15 points. It seems one Jin Bao Lai is equivalent to the strength of a high-level beast general. A high-level beast general is equivalent to a human's 5th grade true harmony realm. And the spiritual energy of this Jin Bao Lai can indeed allow a human to instantly break through from the 5th grade Open Yong realm to the 4th grade true harmony realm. However, these are not very useful for me, Tiger 1 or Tiger 2. You may pluck one. My voice echoed in Liu Nuanwen's ear. An expression of disbelief appeared on Liu Nuanwen's face. She excitedly stepped forward, carefully placing one Jin Bao Lai into her storage. On the ground, the Jin Bao Lai still remained. I directly took one and placed it into Tiger 1's backpack. Although these spiritual herbs were not very useful to me. However, they could become bargaining chips for trade with Huaxia humans. Things here concluded. However, do you know the whereabouts of the one-armed king? I spoke, reporting Lord King Golden Armor. The one-armed king used to live in this jungle, but for some unknown reason, he hasn't appeared recently. Alright, then let us return to Wei Yuan first. Meanwhile, at Huaxia's first military base, a soldier, looking at the dense red dots on a screen, showed a hint of tension on his face, and quickly spoke to an elder at the very top. A hint of nervousness appeared on his face. He hastily spoke to the elder at the very top. Commander, a large group of monsters have appeared within 100 li of Wei Yuan City. The fluctuations emitted by one of the monsters on the radar have already reached the limit of a mid-level lord. At Huaxia's first military base, the elder at the very top gazed sharp-on, and he quickly looked at the screen. Where did this group of monsters come from? He replied, according to our monitoring, they descended from Giant Stone Mountain, 2 Lord Level 8 monsters. I recall those 2 monsters were only elementary Lord level. The elder's gaze turned solemn, and he began to ponder. But the mid-level Lord monster displayed on the radar. Which one could that be? First, immediately notify Wei Yuan City and instruct them to begin defenses. Dispatch old ancestor Huashan to provide support. Meanwhile, in Wei Yuan City, the mayor, having received the news, along with a group of martial artists, nervously watched the red dots on the screen. Especially the one at the very front, that monster emitting a dense red glow. The high-ranking officials of the first military base might not know, but Zhou Li, as the mayor of Wei Yuan City, understood. Everyone, let us prepare our defenses. The one-armed king has returned. Upon hearing this, the martial artists below instantly erupted in a commotion, and as everyone discussed amongst themselves, the ground began to shake slightly. Mayor Zhou Li immediately led the martial artists to the top of the city wall. So they saw waves of dust rising from the distant plain. And as the tremors grew closer, a colossal monster, over 25 meters tall, covered in red fur, appeared. It entered everyone's field of vision. This monster possessed only one extremely thick arm, and wielded a black staff dozens of meters long. Behind it, a large horde of monsters followed. Among them, the 8 monsters were particularly prominent. Both these monsters were around 20 meters tall, and the aura they exuded sent a jolt of alarm through everyone on the city wall. They could barely withstand even one-armed king, let alone to other lord-level monsters. Even now, even if old ancestor Huashan, who cultivates the SG cultivation technique, and the Dagger 9 swords were to come to support, the other 2 elementary lord-level monsters would still be beyond anyone's ability to handle. Watching the one-armed king draw ever closer, Mayor Zhou Li was the first to speak. They've come. Everyone, prepare for battle. A group of martial artists stood poised for action on the city wall. The one-armed king, however, revealed a disdainful expression. Just as the one-armed king approached the city gate, less than 50 meters away, an invisible current of energy suddenly appeared between heaven and earth. Immediately after, a series of attacks, carrying unparalleled oppressive power, directly smashed a huge gap into the city wall. It also shook to death over a dozen martial artists of the lower 3 ranks. A great battle was imminent. Above the primeval forest on the other side, I, accompanied by Tiger 1, Tiger 2, and Liu Nuanwen, were rapidly traversing the jungle. A moment later, they saw on the plain ahead a vast number of 8 monsters, as if a monkey's nest had been stirred. Wei Yuan City's already not so sturdy city wall was now dilapidated. Upon seeing this scene, a hint of excitement appeared in our eyes. Now, they were extremely close to Lord-level monsters. The monsters below were, in their eyes, nothing but prey. Go! I will directly use my Lychee domain to restrain them. Just as they landed, they excitedly charged towards the nearby monsters. Ordinary beast general-level monsters were instantly taken down by the 2 brothers with a single claw, and I, with Liu Nuanwen, directly crossed the city wall, entering the city. At this moment, the one-armed king was rampaging through the city. And wherever it went, numerous houses collapsed. However, when they saw me standing in midair, the one-armed king suddenly ceased swinging its staff. In its blood-red eyes, a rare hint of apprehension appeared. It beat its chest with its single arm, glaring at me in warning. Its immense power caused dust to fly around. I merely glanced indifferently at the one-armed king, thinking to myself, so I finally encountered you. This one-armed king weighs at least 50 tons. Among mid-level lord monsters, It can be considered top tier, and the one-armed king, sensing my intent to destroy, an expression akin to how it viewed humans. Its blood-red eyes, instantly filled with madness. The long staff in its hand continuously beat its own chest, and its aura became even more explosive. Not far behind the one-armed king, the two Lord-level monsters also stared intently at me. As the three Lord-level monsters were drawn to me, some of the surviving human martial artists below stood up one after another, watching this scene in shock. Meanwhile, in Waxia's live broadcast room, the footage was still intermittent. However, they saw on the screen two large tigers flash past. Why do these two large tigers look so familiar? They seem to be the Golden Armored King's tiger generals, don't they? It really is. Could it be that the Golden Armored King has arrived? All the netizens couldn't help but burst into an uproar, and looking at these Lord-level monsters, I couldn't help but reveal a hint of satisfaction on my face. The one-armed king had fine red lines appearing on its body, as if magma was flowing through its body. After knocking down the surrounding houses, it furiously charged towards me. I glanced indifferently at the one-armed king, activating my power domain. An invisible force began to flow in the air. The one-armed king instantly felt pressure akin to Mount Tai pressing down upon it. The two Lord-level monsters behind it were instantly struck by this force and slammed onto the ground. The one-armed king raised its single arm, attempting to lift this force. After a heavy current of energy surged upwards, this force instantly magnified countless times. With a resounding crack, the one-armed king's bones began to shatter inch by inch. Finally, its entire body was completely pressed down onto the ground. Under the continuous pressure of the power domain, the one-armed king's blood-red eyes grew wide and gradually lost all vitality. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 were still successfully capturing other monsters on a rampage. The remaining monsters were no match for Tiger 1 and Tiger 2. Most of them were annihilated in the blink of an eye. Looking at the corpses of the three Lord-level monsters lying on the ground, I unhesitatingly devoured them. Weight plus 55 tons. Strength plus 200 points. Weight plus 20 tons. Strength plus 90 points. Afterwards, I glanced at the city below and found that the remaining monsters were fleeing in all directions. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 were chasing and tearing at several high-level beast generals. Soon, they devoured several high-level beast generals. However, the change in their aura was not obvious. Let's go. It's time to head to the 10th base. I summoned them. On the two brothers' faces, a hint of excitement instantly appeared. They were then lifted into the air by my lychee domain. In the blink of an eye, they vanished from everyone's sight. While on the row, I was not idle. With a thought, my phone flew out from Tiger 2's backpack. After my strength had increased, I could already directly condense a single spiritual energy finger to operate my phone. While on the journey, I could also conveniently gather information from the internet. A few days passed in this manner. Finally, at the edge of my vision, a military base appeared. The base was entirely black, densely covered with large caliber cannons, and laser cannons flashing with silver light. On the city wall, a large number of martial artists were quietly stationed. Outside the base, densely packed steel boxes were piled up. I directly landed on the ground, immediately attracting everyone's attention. They were somewhat curious, or rather, they looked towards all the humans on the city wall and let out a roar. The gazes of these humans made them feel somewhat annoyed. I, however, paid no heed to the numerous martial artists on the city wall and immediately began. In a moment's time, the steel that had just been piled up had all vanished from everyone's sight. Refined iron, 10,000 units. Steel, 100,000 units. 90 steel, 100,000 units. Materials acquired. Transformation. Still requires 1 month. Hearing the system's words, my heart stirred. I quickly observed the changes within the weapon's imprint. I found that the 3 lumps of metallic liquid had all intertwined. Mysterious runes, one after another, continuously entered this lump of metallic liquid. The person in charge of the 10th military base, seeing the entire pile of materials instantly devoured by me, revealed a hint of contemplation on his face. He then slowly spoke, "Lord Golden Armored King, I wonder if you still require steel. Within our 10th military base, we still have 100,000 tons stored." I merely glanced calmly at him, at the person in charge of the 10th military base, but my voice simultaneously rang in everyone's ears. No need. Afterwards, I did not linger long at the 10th military base. Instead, I directly took Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 and flew towards the depths of the ocean. After the spiritual energy revival, the ocean had become a forbidden zone for humans. Aside from extremely powerful cultivators at the upper 3 ranks, ordinary humans dared not enter the sea. However, with the first layer of my power domain currently mastered, I have encountered almost no monsters on land capable of withstanding my domain. Perhaps there are some in the ocean. At this moment, I was lying on an island, basking in the sun. The two of them were relentlessly attacking a mutated giant sea turtle. But this giant sea turtle's shell was extremely hard. Their sharp claws could only leave faint scratches on its shell. However, I merely glanced indifferently, and looking at the boundless sea, I pondered to myself, where are all those sea monsters gathered? There should be a monster gathering place, or a distribution map. I then used spiritual power to open my phone, to check in detail for information regarding the quiet sea monsters. Waxia's information regarding the quiet sea. Waxia's perspective on stillness. There were more records of the 10 overlords of the sea. It only roughly marked 10 red forbidden zone. However, now the entire ocean is a forbidden zone for humans. To find these monsters within these forbidden zones is actually not easy. At this moment, I suddenly remembered a notebook I once obtained in the forest. It contains some records about the nearshore sea. Big Beard, as a professional poacher, would record some special places in the nearshore sea. I quickly flipped through the notebook. I suddenly saw a piece of special information. This notebook recorded everything from B for the spiritual energy revival. It said that one day 5 years ago, I and several teammates braved the storm, smuggled ourselves across the sea, and arrived at an uninhabited small island. We used it as a transit station to resupply on the island, but on the island's coastline, we discovered a peculiar creature. It could easily move across the beach, emitting a faint blue light from its body. This was the first time we had seen such a creature. We cautiously followed this creature, discovering that it lived beneath the cliff on the other side of the island. But just as we approached the cliff, this creature, over 10 meters long, suddenly released a blue electric radiance from its soul, directly killing one of our teammates. In the end, we fled frantically from that island. Below, the detailed coordinates of the island were recorded. Seeing this information, my eyes lit up. If this creature could grow so large before the spiritual energy revival, then it could be said to possess extraordinary talent. After the spiritual energy revival, it is highly likely to evolve into a top-tier monster, and the coordinates of this island are only a few hundred li away from me. I instantly had a target. Just as I was about to call Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 to depart, I looked up, only to find the two brothers. They are still frantically attacking that turtle. Your efficiency is too slow. After saying that, I directly launched a glazed fire assault and easily killed this turtle, which was at the peak of the advanced beast general stage. Easily killed. Seeing this, Tiger 1 and Tiger 2's faces showed excited expressions and began to devour the turtle. Looking at the two brothers, an idea sparked in my mind. System, can I impart my glazed fire earth absorption to them? Asterisk ding, asterisk host, please try it yourself. Glazed fire earth absorption has high bloodline requirements. Bloodline, huh? These two brothers originally possessed the Northeast Tiger bloodline, but relying on their devouring art, they have devoured a large number of monsters, and also optimized a trace of their bloodline. It should be fine. I directly transmitted the skills of the glazed fire earth absorption into the minds of Tiger 1 and Tiger 2. The two brothers, who were just continuously devouring the remains, suddenly stopped. They stood still in their original spot, as if their minds were filled with information. Later, they let out a few calls, and their bodies began to change. Traces of scorching heat began to emanate from the two brothers. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 quietly lay on the ground, waiting for the transformation to end. It should be a success. Ordinary spirit seed level monsters all have their own exclusive skills. I imparted the glazed fire earth absorption to the two brothers, which is equivalent to letting them master a powerful skill in advance. Once they learn it, it means their offense and defense will be no less than that of ordinary elementary lord level monsters. And just as Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 were slowly evolving, I suddenly sensed a violent spiritual energy fluctuation from the distant sea surface. My spiritual sense domain instantly unfolded. I directly flew into the air and saw a human in the distance, in the sea, fighting a powerful lord level monster. This human was covered in wounds, but possessed an aura of growing stronger with each battle. The Waxia martial artist, this old man, suddenly struck backward. On the sea surface behind him, waves over 10 meters high directly splashed up. Subsequently, a massive monster emerged from the sea water. The aura emanating from its body was immense, clearly indicating it was an advanced lord-level monster. Enormous tentacles suddenly appeared from the seabed, with astonishing speed, directly towards the human's location. Striking fiercely, a crisp sound rang out. That old man was surrounded by an unknown aura, and actually withstood the monster's attack. And then, he rushed towards my direction. This person should be in the second grade Earth realm, but facing this advanced lord, he was actually able to fight back and forth. He must have cultivated one of the S-grade cultivation techniques to a very high level. When the old man was only 5 kilometers away from the island, he finally discovered me, but his speed still did not decrease at all. He loudly shouted to me in the sky, "Golden Armored King, sir, I apologize for my presumption, but this old man wishes to rest on your island for a bit." Hearing this, a trace of surprise appeared on my face. This old man actually recognized me. But at this moment, Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 were still on the island, breaking through. Therefore, I did not agree to his request. "Human, leave this place immediately." The old man stood steadily on the sea surface and said with a trace of embarrassment on his face, "Golden Armored King, sir, that monster behind me is the Red Demon Tentacle King, one of the 10 overlords of the nearshore sea. All the monsters in the surrounding sea area are desperately chasing me. If I leave, I'll lose my life. Please let this old man stay for a while. Stay in the northeast corner of the island, all right?" I looked at the monster in the distance, and a trace of interest appeared on my face. At this moment, the Red Demon Tentacle King also discovered me. However, it did not attack rashly, but instead emitted a peculiar sound that spread throughout this sea area. The sea area around the island began to churn, and monsters, one by one, continuously emerged from the seawater. These monsters were originally hidden in the deep sea. Among them, 7 or 8 monsters, all exuded Lord-level auras. However, looking at the giant beast continuously emerging from the sea surface, my face revealed a satisfied expression. So many monsters. If I had to find them myself normally, it wouldn't be easy. The Red Demon Tentacle King was still attempting to warn me, hoping I would leave this island, and the Lord-level monsters gathering around were also increasing, reaching a total of over 10. Just at this moment, some Lord-level monsters in the sea activated the surrounding waters and were continuously stacking, reaching a height of over 10 meters. It seemed as if they intended to submerge the island. The old man on the island looked at this scene, and a trace of shock appeared on his face. He also hadn't expected that the seawater actually concealed so many Lord-level monsters. Immediately after, a peculiar fluctuation spread. The leading Red Demon Tentacle King again began to warn me. Moreover, this monster's body also gradually emerged from the seawater. The exposed part alone exceeded 20 meters, and countless tentacles were hidden beneath the sea surface. It seems that the monsters in this sea are indeed much larger than those on land. The first huge wave was already heading towards the island. Upon the island, and my lychee domain instantly covered the entire island. After a loud bang, all the waves rolled back. This made the old man on the island and the Red Demon Tentacle King in the seawater both startled. This old man, ever since he came to the island, had been rapidly recovering the spiritual energy in his body, because he knew that soon these monsters would rush onto the island. At that time, it would definitely be a life and death battle. But at this moment, he felt that he had still underestimated the Golden Armored King's strength. And this old man was precisely the one who, some time ago, went into the ocean to investigate the cause of the beast tide formation. The Huaxia Martial Artist Association President, Zhao Pingshan, originally, with Zhao Pingshan's strength, coupled with some of Huaxia's latest developed technology, as long as he was careful in the sea, there would be no major problems at all. However, he accidentally stumbled into the Red Demon King's territory, and thus began his escape journey. However, Zhao Pingshan's strength was extremely formidable. Relying on his formidable strength, the Red Demon King couldn't do anything to him for a while. Zhao Pingshan had been fleeing. At this moment, Zhao Pingshan looked up at the sky, at the Golden Armored King confronting the Red Demon King. What surprised him was that the Red Demon King, known for its brutality in the near-shore sea, when facing the Golden Armored King in its own territory, would only issue a warning and not actively attack. Just as he was pondering, 2 excited roars came. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 had already learned the glaze fire earth absorption. This made the 2 brothers full of confidence. They looked towards the sea, at some approaching Lord-level monsters, and a trace of disdain appeared on their faces. Immediately after, a red light was emitted from Tiger 1's mouth, directly striking the body of a Lord-level monster. This monster let out a painful roar, and then fiercely charged towards the island. A great battle was about to erupt. Tiger 1's attack instantly enraged all the Lord-level monsters. In the ocean, Lord-level monsters, one by one, emerged from the ocean and rushed towards the island. The leading Red Demon King, seeing this scene, even more fiercely drew out a several dozen meter-long tentacle and attacked me. However, these tentacles only struck my lychee domain around my body. But also, as the spiritual energy in the air dissipated in waves, the Red Demon King fiercely retracted its tentacles. Subsequently, over 10 more massive legs frantically attacking me, as if to explode the air. However, they couldn't harm me in the slightest. However, these Lord-level monsters were individually massive in size, and the 2 brothers' sharp claws couldn't harm them at all. But they couldn't easily harm them either. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2, who had just entered the glaze fire earth element, would only occasionally land a blow, causing some damage to these Lord-level monsters. However, such battles greatly accelerated the 2 brothers' evolution. Just then, several more tremors shook the ground, Two more monsters, each over 40 meters tall, charged towards the island. These two monsters had already reached the mid-level Lord grade. The aura they exuded was extraordinary. Witnessing this, Zhao Pingshan, who was nearby, didn't stay idle. He leapt directly from the ground, his left hand forming a palm, his right a fist. He then lunged at the two monsters. A deep thud echoed. Zhao Pingshan actually, with a single palm strike, repelled one of the monsters. At the same time, he engaged in battle with the other monster. I turned to look, and couldn't help but think to myself, this old man's combat power is quite impressive. But he's fighting two at once and not losing ground. Meanwhile, in the sky above, the Red Demon King's tentacles had become a blur of after images, continuously, incessantly, lashing at the Lin Qi domain around me. The surrounding Lin Qi, under the constant lashing, gradually formed a Lin Qi vortex. Its might was astonishing, yet I, enveloped by the Lin Qi domain, merely watched all of this with indifference. As a high-level lord, you're quite formidable. It's a pity you encountered me. The Lin Qi domain suddenly expanded, instantly covering the entire small island and a kilometer of the surrounding sea surface. Under the suppression of the Lin Qi domain, the seawater became completely calm. All the monsters in the vicinity, including the Red Demon King, suddenly found their bodies unable to move. Zhao Pingshan, who was nearby, was also in the same predicament. A deep resonance emanated from me, and then the Lin Qi domain, like a colossal millstone, directly sliced through all the monsters. On the island and in the sea, many monster bodies were severed into several pieces, all plummeting into the seawater. Zhao Pingshan stared blankly at the scene. As the president of the Huaxia Martial Artists Association, he had already experienced several beast tides, but he had never witnessed such a spectacle. In just an instant, all the Lord-level monsters were annihilated. He looked up at the golden armored king in the sky, his eyes still revealing a hint of disbelief. Then, I used my Lin Qi domain to move all the monster corpses onto the small island. These monster corpses piled up, resembling a small mountain. Gazing at these monster corpses, a satisfied expression appeared on my face. As for Tiger 1 and Tiger 2, they were still somewhat unsatisfied. The battle with a group of Lord-level monsters had taken quite a toll on them. The two brothers were already covered in wounds. However, the aura emanating from their bodies was also more robust. I directly bestowed upon Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 Lord-level monster corpses, allowing them to devour them. As for myself, I faced the mountain of monsters below and activated the devouring art. A series of numbers echoed in my mind. System, display my attributes. Species, golden armored spider. Strength accumulated, 5,200. Dark heaven true body accumulated, 4,900. Battle body, golden armored battle body. Skills, strength domain, golden armored spider. Devouring art, glaze fire earth element. My dark heaven true body has increased significantly since last time, but it's still some distance from 100,000 tons. I just wonder if there are any monsters that can provide a boost of 10,000 tons. I couldn't help but think of that lizard king. That fellow hasn't appeared around Huaxia recently. I almost forgot about him. However, currently, he still occupies the top spot on the Huaxia monster ranking. Perhaps he has already reached the level of a king-grade monster. It would be excellent if I could find the lizard king. After all, those large lizards under his command earlier were quite good too. At this moment, Zhao Pingshan approached with cautious steps towards me. Lord Golden Armored King, thank you for saving me. Old man, what were you doing in the deep ocean? Oh, my lord, due to the increasingly frequent beast tides at the military base recently, I went to investigate the cause. Merged with 2107. Who are you? And did your investigation yield any results? I am Zhao Pingshan, the president of the Huaxia Martial Artists Association. Through my investigation, I discovered that 5 of the 10 overlords of the Near Sea have already submitted to a king residing in the deep ocean. Merged with 2114. It is this king who has caused the Huaxia military bases to suffer unprecedented attacks. Hearing this, a trace of curiosity appeared on my face. This old man's identity is indeed extraordinary. He holds significant influence throughout Huaxia, but I am more curious about that king in the ocean. Why doesn't this monster come forth itself? According to my investigation, this king might have just swept through some other monsters in the deep ocean. The king should return to attack Huaxia soon. I was rushing back to arrange countermeasures and inadvertently strayed into the Red Demon King's territory. Hearing this, I pondered to myself, I am currently on the ocean, not far from Huaxia's military bases. As long as there's a large-scale beast tide, I should be able to sense it. I'll then have a proper confrontation with them. Then I recited the coordinates recorded in the Big Beard's notebook and asked Zhao Pingshan, whose territory is this? Zhao Pingshan quickly checked the coordinates on his device. Lord Golden Armored King, this place is shrouded in misty around. It is not the territory of a near-sea overlord or any other lord-level monster. This made my eyes light up. It seems this monster's strength is even greater than I imagined. To merge with 2,000, if this mist is akin to a domain, then this monster is very likely a king-grade monster. It's just that the humans of Waxia haven't discovered it yet. At this moment, Zhao Pingshen had a sudden thought. He spoke, Lord Golden Armored King. The remaining sea beast carcasses can be exchanged with humans for top gems. Do you have any needs? At this moment, there were still some low-level monsters on the ground, including many high-level beasts, commander-grade monsters, who had died in the aftermath of the recent battle. These sea beasts are no longer of use to me. So, what can these remaining sea beast carcasses be exchanged for? Lord, my lord, these high-level beast commander carcasses on the ground, as well as the lord-level sea beast corpses, can be exchanged for anything in Waxia. For instance, the newly developed SE weapons, or various resources from Waxia. My expression remained calm. After all, these things are of little use to me. However, I cannot simply give away my resources. I then said to Zhao Pingshen, you may take all these monsters. I do not need them. However, I am well aware of the value of these monsters. Convert all of them into your current human points. And then, I will find an agent to manage these points on my behalf. In the future, if I require any resources, you must spare no effort. Hearing my demands, Zhao Pingshen solemnly replied, no problem. In the future, for any monsters you slay, Waxia will convert them into points for you at the highest possible rate. All treasures of Waxia will be made available to you. May I ask who you wish to appoint as your agent? As he asked this, Zhao Pingshen even felt a hint of anticipation in his heart. However, I didn't even look at him. I covered a tablet with Lin Qi, making it float in the air. But displayed on it was a list of heavenly talents. At the very top of the heavenly talents list, Zhong Ying's name was conspicuously ranked second. I couldn't help but recall a time before the Lin Qi resurgence, when I was still in the pigsty. That woman who wanted to take me home. I was already destined for the meat market, although she might be a bit naughty. Her character is good. Let it be her. Zhong Ying, ranked second on the heavenly talents list, 1/10 of all points, shall be this woman's salary. If anyone dares to withhold, I will make that person completely disappear, regardless of their status. Understood, understood. Lord Golden Armored King, Zhao Pingshen secretly pondered in his heart. What is so special about this woman? Did the Golden Armored King know her from before? After I had clearly instructed Zhao Pingshen, I did not linger there, and flew towards the deep sea. A few days later, ever since her last emergence from seclusion, Zhong Ying had received the attention of all Waxia. As the second ranked on the heavenly talents list, she was already exceptionally brilliant. However, the matter of her becoming the Golden Armored King's agent immediately made her the subject of widespread public discussion. Yet, Zhong Ying herself was puzzled, not knowing why the Golden Armored King would have her manage these points. She seemed to have never met the Golden Armored King before. Meanwhile, on the other side, above the endless sea, Tiger 1 and Tiger 2, the two brothers, had finally broken through to become lord-level monsters. Their bodies had surged to 15 meters in size, and the patterns on their fur became increasingly distinct. The greatest change for these two brothers, upon evolving into lord-level monsters, was that yellow and brown manes merged with 2238. Merged with 2238. Their right shoulders were covered in armor, and silver patterns had appeared on their thick legs. These changes made Tiger 1 and Tiger 2's movement speed several times faster than before. Their power also increased significantly. Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 felt the surging energy within their bodies, and couldn't help but reveal satisfied expressions on their faces. Their palms became a blur of after-images, continuously striking the massive rocks on the island. Enough playing. No sooner had I spoken, I immediately activated my Lychee domain, directly taking Tiger 1 and Tiger 2 with me, and flew towards the coordinates from Big Beard's notebook. And just as I was heading towards that misty area, in the depths of the ocean, an extremely massive beast, bearing an indifferent demeanor, and ascended a small island. That beast was covered in scales from head to toe. Its physical refinement had greatly improved. A powerful aura emanated from its body. These monsters were all exceptionally massive. There were colossal, whale-like monsters over 50 meters long, and sand-type monsters covered in silver scales. One of them let out another roar, causing all the monsters to stir into action, turning the sea surface into a scene of doomsday. Clearly, the next beast tide was imminent.